Kanye West and the Yeezy stands would have you believe that he's some sort of design genius and the mastermind behind the whole Yeezy line, but that's not the case. In this video, I'm going to reveal exactly who designed and created the most iconic Yeezy sneakers, and you'll be pretty surprised, so stick about. Let's go. So let's start with the Nike Air Yeezy line. I'll admit, I don't mind the Air Yeezy 1s, they're not bad, but the Yeezy 2s just look like some sort of like Aldi bargain bin snow boot you'd give your toddlers. They're just horrible. They look like breeze blocks. No one looks good in them, just fucking face it. And so Tiffany Beers was actually the protege of Tinker Hatfield, who I'm sure you'll know, and she worked on the Nike Air Mags, later the Hyper Adapt, and now actually works for Tesla, so she's a bright girl. And when Kanye signed up to Nike, he specifically said he wanted to do something similar to the Nike Mag, hence why they brought on Tiffany Beers. And if you actually look at the Yeezy 1, you can tell it kind of is like a Nike Mag upper just sat on a Jordan 3 sole. And even the fact that the soles glow in the dark, that's actually because Kanye West wanted the soles to light up like the Nike Mags. So then in 2010, they followed up with the Yeezy 2, which he actually worked with Nathan Van Hook, who came over from the ACG line and a very prolific Nike designer. And to be fair, the Yeezy 2 is basically like an iPhone update for the Yeezy 1. It's shorter for more mobility, there's less padding, so it's a lot slimmer on the foot. And obviously those animal references like the reptilian sort of back to them, all sort of on top of a Nike Air Tech Challenger 2, aka the Agassiz. So, you know, there's obviously a common thread there. It's very much like Jordan retro, Tinker Hatfield, you know, the Yeezy 1 and the Yeezy 2, they're kind of in that sort of like Jordan 3, Jordan 4, like Air Tech Challenge, Nike Air Trainer, that world. And that is obviously where Kanye sort of began with his influences. But now, obviously he comes over to Adidas. So now Kanye West's at Adidas, and the first shoe they release is in February 2015, and it's the 750 Yeezy Boost or whatever. You know, that like high top, it's kind of grey, white, almost like a Chelsea boot design, and an absolute massive left turn from that like Jordan retro direction he was going in. And it's been widely speculated, and I've actually had confirmed that Jerry Lorenzo designed the 750 under an NDA. So he's under a non-disclosure agreement where he can't discuss it to this day with anyone. But if you know Fear of God and Jerry Lorenzo, you know that's his aesthetic, that's his style. And even when you look at the Nike Air Fear of Gods, you put that and the 750 side by side, the silhouette is very similar. And if you remember, or if you look back online, all of the first mentions and first looks of the 750 are all on Jerry Lorenzo's social media, his Instagram and stuff. So if you consider Kanye West's previous shoe was the Nike Air Yeezy 1 and 2, then a few years later he comes out with the 750, I mean, there is no correlation. There is no like common design thread between them. So, you know, it does lead you to believe that he is not the instigator on either, or maybe just one of these designs. Nick Galway actually oversaw like the initial Yeezy design process for the 750. You know, he's known, well, Nick Galway and his team are kind of known for like the Y3 collabs, Stella McCartney collabs, Pharrell. Basically any big high profile artist that they want to work with, they give Nick Galway, and that is exactly what happened when Kanye West joined. So around that same time in 2015, Nick Galway had come out with the NMD, the Tubular was on its way, the Pure Boost was on its way, and then at that same time, the next Yeezy release, the 350, which to be fair is definitely my favorite out of any Yeezy to date. And if you look at it, it is very much in that world of like NMD and some boosts and certainly tubulars. And it's undeniable, it's a fact. You can look anywhere online, the 350 was designed by Nick Galway. And you know, to reiterate, Nick Galway is kind of like the Tinker Hatfield of Adidas. In an interview with Highs Sobriety, Nick Galway actually talked about sort of those first few months, that first year or so when Kanye joined Adidas, and how, you know, they spent hours having conversations about designs and aesthetics and things, and how Galway took Kanye West to the factories and things. So you can pretty much guarantee he was his right-hand man at that point. So the next notable design would be the 700 Wave Runner, designed by Stephen Smith. Now, I've spoken about Stephen Smith before. He's a proper shoe dog, a proper OG. You know, he's known for designing the New Balance for the 550s that we know now, the 1500s, the 997s, I think, and plenty more shoes. So he is known as the godfather of the dad shoe. Kanye West brings him in 2016, I think, and then in 2017 they come out with the Wave Runner, right? And compare that to the 350, which now is the 350 V2, same kind of design but tweaked, like, which is a very thin, simple design, you know, all that prime knit upper on boost, and now suddenly they've got this big, bulky dad shoe that's, you know, completely and utterly Stephen Smith's like design outlook. The foundations of his designs are in that shoe. I don't know what the fuck it's got to do with Kanye West. And then you even have blogs like Yeezy Mafia talking about the Wave Runner, like bringing back the dad shoe trend and everything. The Balenciaga Triple S came out earlier that year and made a much bigger impact on the footwear industry and like fashion as a whole. Like, you name it, at that time, any girl or any like short gay man that didn't want that shoe just didn't exist. And I just need to mention Christian Tresser, who is another iconic shoe designer that's on the Yeezy payroll. I think he's a bit of a freelancer that works between lots of different brands and things. He's actually known for designing and creating the Nike Air Max 97, as well as the Air Zoom Spiridons, which in my eyes are sick. And he was brought on board and created the 700 Wave Runner like ZX, which is that horrible other version with the 700 on the side. I'm not a fan of, to be fair, but you know, again, that was Christian Tresser, not Yeezy. So, you know, at this point, I think it's fair to say Kanye West is not a designer. He's by any way, shape or form. You know, he's a creative director. That's what he does. You know, people bring him ideas, people actually create things, bring them to him. He signs off yes or no, or follows their tangent, feeds back. Anyway, please subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you soon. Brah!